A 100.0 gram sample of a metal at 50.00 degrees Celsius is added to 125 grams of water at 20 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the water rises to 23 degrees Celsius. Calculate the specific heat capacity of the metal, assuming that all the heat lost by the metal is gained by the water. First thing we need to solve in this problem is the Q of water, or the heat absorbed by water. So the formula for Q is M C delta T. M is the mass of water, that is 125.0 grams. C is the specific heat capacity of water, so even though it is not given in the problem, it is something we should be familiar of. The value of C is 4.184 joules per gram degrees Celsius. And delta T is the change in temperature of water. So that is final temperature minus initial temperature. So final temperature is 23.00 degrees Celsius minus initial temperature of water is 20.00 degrees Celsius. So if we compute for Q of water, that is equal to 1569 joules of heat. So water absorbed 1569 joules of heat. The problem says, assume that all the heat lost by the metal is gained by water. If we put that into an equation, that is Q water is equal to negative Q of metal. So Q water and Q metal have opposite signs because water absorbs heat and metal releases or loses heat. They have the same magnitude but different signs because the water again absorbs heat and metal loses heat. So Q water is 1569 joules. That is equal to negative Q of metal. Therefore, Q of metal is equal to negative 1569 joules. Then we write the equation for Q metal. Q metal is MC delta T, where M is the mass of metal, C is the specific heat capacity of the metal, delta T is the change in temperature. The question wants us to solve for the specific heat capacity of the metal, so that is C. So if we rearrange the equation, if we want to solve for C, that is equal to Q metal divided by M delta T. Q metal, we just solved it earlier, negative 1569 joules divided by M is the mass of metal, that is 100.0 grams. So that is the mass of metal. Delta T is the change in temperature. So final temperature minus initial temperature of the metal. So final temperature is 23.00 degrees Celsius minus the initial temperature of the metal is 50.00 degrees Celsius. So if we solve this, C, or specific heat capacity of the metal, is equal to 0.5811, and the unit is joules per gram degree Celsius. So joules per gram degree Celsius. And that is the answer to the question.